Alright, good day ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's video. In this video I want to discuss what's going on with VeChain. More specifically, I want to talk about what it will take for VeChain to be bullish again and what we need to look out for if we want to understand if VeChain is going to recover, if we're entering a bear market. So folks, if you like the sound of that, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads, because we're constantly bringing you guys gold. And in this video I want to share with you guys the thing I'm looking out for to understand when VeChain is done recovering and when is done correcting, and ready to recover. So folks, without further ado, let's delve into it. So this is a bit of a busy picture we're looking at here, but in this picture we're looking at a daily chart of VeChain from kind of 2020 to present day. And so what I've drawn here is a few Fibonacci indicators. This is a Fibonacci channel. You draw a Fibonacci channel from the bottom of macro movement to one of the major lower lows, and then extend that to the all-time highs, and that gives you some support / resistance lines that are likely to be relevant, as well as a Fibonacci retracement does the same thing, gives us some support / resistance levels that are likely to be relevant. So that's what those lines are. Now if we zoom in a bit more in the short term for VeChain, we're actually at a super critical make it or break it point right now, in my opinion, because we have several layers of support kind of convalescing in one place. We have the 200 daily exponential moving average currently below us acting as support, as well as one of our Fibonacci channel levels here acting as support. So we do have volume below us as well at around 9 cents, just above 9 cents, kind of 9 cents to about 9 cents 3, 9 cents 4. Nice price reactive level, nice base of support here that we could find support. If we lose that 200 daily EMA, it's also pretty possible that we could kind of crash down quickly below that EMA, find our support somewhere here, and come back up. But VeChain pretty much needs to hold these two levels, because if we cannot hold a 200 daily EMA, if we cannot hold this kind of 9 cent range based off this volume inside base price action acting as support, then we don't have a whole lot of support below us until 6 cents, 7 cents, around that range. So if VeChain can't hold basically the line we're at now, a 6-7 cent VeChain is definitely realistic, kind of these previous highs. One of our Fib channel lines right here, as well as the Fibonacci retracement, all at around 6 cents. So I think that's the next major support level if 9 cents can't hold there. Now with that being said, this is kind of the bearish scenario. If we break down from support here, maybe 6-7 cents is realistic. But what about the bullish scenario? How do we know when VeChain is ready to be bullish again? Well, I've looked at several different time frames and several different moving averages, and I believe that I've identified one of the most price reactive moving averages for VeChain that serves as an inflection point, where depending what way we react off this level, it will tell us the state of the macro trend. If we're below this level, we're bearish. If we're above this level, we're bullish. And this level I'm talking about is the 200 EMA exponential moving average on the 6 hour, this white line here. Now, why did I choose this line? Is it rather arbitrary? Well, I chose this line because, again, I sifted through several time frames, and I do believe this EMA, 200 EMA on the 6 hour, is the most price reactive EMA there is out there. If you kind of zoom out and look at kind of this earlier cycle's parabolic growth, every major correction that VeChain had, we held the line and we held support on the 200 EMA on the daily. Now, no support level is perfect, but this is the most price reactive one in my opinion here. One major correction. See, let's measure the length of this correction here. VeChain dumped 35%, found support on that white line, 200 EMA on the 6 hour. Another major dump, dumped 40%, found support on the 200 EMA on the 6 hour. Another major correction over here. Let's see how much we dumped. We dumped 32%, found support on the 200 EMA on the 6 hour. Another one over here, major dump, we corrected 43%, several times, 3 daily candles reacted exactly off the 200 EMA on the 6 hour. Even over here, depending on what exchange you look at, some exchanges are slightly different. This flash crash that we had back in April found our support almost exactly on the 200 exponential moving average on the 6 hour. In different exchanges, it actually touched it perfectly. And even in the short term, the market is telling us this is still a relevant zone to consider, because where did we find our rejection during our relief rally? Exactly off of 200 EMA on the 6 hour. Previous support, when we break below it, then acts as strong resistance. So, folks, I believe this is the EMA to look out for. So right now, VeChain is stuck in between strong support, that 200 daily exponential moving average, and this volume right below us, as well as the sideways price action, and this extremely reactive EMA. So we're kind of within this zone from really 9 cents to about 13 cents. So we can't just move in this zone forever. Eventually, we're going to move tighter and tighter within the zone, and eventually we're going to break out. And if we kind of lose this cluster of support, 6 cents is probably where we go. But if we can flip this resistance, 200 EMA on the 6 hour, from resistance into support, basically get above 13.5 cents, then I think we can impulse up to this red trend line here. So I think this is what the bullish scenario could look like. Where we come back up here, retest resistance, maybe get rejected the first time, that's okay. Come back up, break up. If we break above this trend line, come back down to retest it, hold it as support, then we can test this trend line. And if we can test this trend line, break up, come back down, hold it as support, then at that point we would have several layers of bullish confirmation and bullish trend reversal. And in that case, if we can get above this white line and this red trend line, then I think the bull market could continue and VeChain can go on its merry way to 50 cents, 80 cents, $1 and beyond. But if we want to see VeChain in the high tens of cents, around $1, we first need to get above this inflection point, this 200 daily, sorry, not daily. I look at a lot of charts, folks. I get my email is confused sometimes. But no, this is the 200 exponential moving average on the 6 hour. I believe this is the key inflection point. When VeChain is above this, VeChain is obviously bullish, as we can see. When VeChain is below this, VeChain is obviously bearish, as we can see. So the inflection point in my mind is clear. We need to start getting above this thing. This is the first major layer of resistance. This is the second. This red trend line from all-time highs, next lower high, extend that, is the second major level of resistance. And if we can get past those two major levels of resistance, that would be enough bullish trend reversal and bullish confirmation that I would feel confident at that point if we can do something like this to ride VeChain all the way up to the high tens of cents, $50, $80 and beyond. As well, again, this is a critical time for VeChain, folks, because right here we're looking at the VeChain Bitcoin pairing. And folks, for those who don't know why Bitcoin affects the rest of the market, Bitcoin leads the market for several reasons. It affects market sentiment, it affects where liquidity moves, and it affects the pairings. There's often pairings with these large altcoins with Bitcoin as well. So whenever Bitcoin moves quickly, that affects the pairings, which affects the US dollar value of VeChain. So right now, the VeChain Bitcoin pairing is very significant because we're forming this descending triangle sitting right on support. This previous level that was once resistance will now act as support. Again, guys, we break through resistance, come back down and retest it, and then access support. So this is a key point. Will we hold this as support? That is the big question. If we can hold the line basically where we're at right now, then we have a solid chance of coming back up, retesting resistance here, maybe get rejected, come back up, retest resistance, and then break through. If we cannot hold this green line here, then we're probably going to fall back down to these regions here. And if that region doesn't hold, probably falling back down to this other green zone here as well. So very critical time for VeChain. If we see VeChain start to fall below this green line here, that's our cue that VeChain has more downside potential and is probably going to lose the 200 daily exponential moving average. So VeChain Bitcoin pairing, great chart to get confirmation of what the next major trend is for VeChain. If we lose this green support line, probably VeChain has more downside potential. If we can get above this red trend line, VeChain is probably going to have a bit of a relief rally. Also, we need to follow Bitcoin dominance, because Bitcoin dominance is a great gauge, a great temperature check of the altcoin market and will serve as confirmation of the next major trend for VeChain. So I do believe that Bitcoin dominance is likelier than not to rise in the near future, because if Bitcoin dumps and enters a bear market, then altcoins are going to fall harder and Bitcoin dominance will rise. Because again, for those who don't know, Bitcoin dominance, total value of Bitcoin in comparison to total value of all cryptocurrency. So if Bitcoin dumps, alts will dump harder because alts have retail investors in them, and retail investors have weak paper spaghetti hands, and they will sell if the market turns really bearish. So Bitcoin dominance are likely to rise if we turn bearish, and if Bitcoin dominance, if Bitcoin gets bullish, Bitcoin dominance is also likely to rise because in the short term, Bitcoin will lead because Bitcoin is perceived to be a safer asset than a lot of these altcoins. And so liquidity typically moves to Bitcoin first during market recovery. So either way you slice this, I do believe that Bitcoin dominance is likely to move up in the near future. So how is this relevant to VeChain? Because again, great gauge and temperature check of the altcoin market. Because let's say we do get that recovery. Let's say we do get that upturn in Bitcoin dominance. Once we run up against resistance in Bitcoin dominance, and I do believe the 50 percentile range is likely to be significant due to this very reactive zone here. Look at this clear base of support/resistance. Here's support, here resistance, here support, very reactive level. So I would expect us to run up to at least the very least temporary resistance in this region. So once Bitcoin dominance comes up here, finds rejection, puts in a lower low and then a lower high, at that point, that's our cue that altcoins are ready to take the spotlight and outperform Bitcoin. Once we come up, find rejection, during the signs of that reversal, that is when it's time to get into altcoins, and that's when we'll see VeChain truly start to recover and take off and maybe even outperform Bitcoin. At least that's one of the factors that I'm looking out for, because basically this is telling us when Bitcoin will outperform altcoins and when altcoins will outperform Bitcoin. So again, guys, we need to wait for that pump, wait for a rejection, see signs of reversal. Once it starts falling down, that's our cue that when the fall first starts, that VeChain and the alts are likely to recover as well. Folks, Bitcoin is fully leading this market right now. I see a lot of people in the space wanting to jump to conclusions, calling a bull market, calling a bear market. For me, I think it's too premature to call it either way. We need more macro confirmation. We need more evidence because there's lots of reasons to be bullish. There's lots of reasons to be bearish. And so to seek clarity, we need further price confirmation. And so I think it's very clear what it will take for Bitcoin enter a bear market or enter a bull market, or continue the bull market rather. I do believe Bitcoin is forming somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern, and a lower low below $30,000 would constitute a bearish breakdown from this head and shoulders. So I think that if we make a lower low below 30K, that would be enough evidence to make it likelier than not that we could be entering an extended bear market. So a lower low below 30K, I do believe is the inflection point to call a bear market. At least most of the evidence would be pointing more bearish rather than bullish. And so as long as we hold 30K, there's still hope. If we start to go 29, 27, wrap her up, folks. Bear market's coming. But as long as we can hold above 30K, as long as we put in these higher lows, then there's still some hope. As well, what do we need to look out for us to be confident that Bitcoin, the bull run could continue and that Bitcoin could go to 100,000, 200,000, and so on? Well, we need to get above this red trend line based off all-time highs, next lower high. If Bitcoin can break above this red trend line, come back down and retest it, hold it as support, and start making moves to the upside, at that point, I'll be confident that the bull market could continue and Bitcoin could go to $100,000, $200,000. So folks, to really summarize things here, if we make a lower low below 30,000, I think there's more evidence than not pointing towards a bear market. If we can get above this red trend line and hold above it, come back down and retest it and our price and start moving up, then I think we can enter price discovery and the bull market can continue. And again, Bitcoin is leading the market, so it's very important to understand what Bitcoin's doing if you want to understand what VeChain is doing. Summarize VeChain. Close support in the short term, this 200 daily exponential moving average, 9 cents here based off this volume and this sideways moving price action. If we cannot hold this, 6-7 cents is very realistic. And for us to start looking bullish again, we need to flip this 200 exponential moving average on the 6 hour, this white line, and then this red trend line from all-time highs to next lower high. These are the two major resistance levels that we need to get above if we want VeChain to start looking bullish again and be confident that we could see a 50 cent, 80 cent, $1 VeChain. So, folks, I've been rambling long enough. If you like the sound of this and if you like the video, do not forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and smash that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. As well, folks, if you like what we do, want to support us, and want more access to ourselves, if you want to know what we're buying, when we're buying, entries, low cap gems, become a VIP Discord member. You get access through our Patreon. Go click on it right now. The link is down in the description below, because soon we're going to be implementing some new changes, bringing even more value to our VIP Discord members and the people that got in early, our early supporters. We will make sure that the people support us early will greatly benefit from being early. So folks, make sure you go click on that link, like and subscribe, and until next time, take care.